Stinking mint. We are back for 2022-2023 element season here in Broken Bow. It is good to see you. You belong here because we want you to feel known, valued, and loved. And we have so much to talk about this year. And we're starting off with the best, the most, the King, Jesus. Well, here's the idea. If I'm going to talk all year long at you about how you should follow Jesus, I should probably tell you who he is. I should probably introduce you to him and why he's such a big deal. I think here's the big idea. Here's the big idea. That we, in our reality, maybe we're living in the upside down. Maybe we're in the reality that's broken, that's busted, that should have been better, but something happened. And all of it seems wrong, all of it seems twisted, all of it seems upside down. And here comes heaven, breaking through into our reality through Jesus Christ. Light into the darkness. Here's John chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word. Talking about Jesus here. I could go in a whole message about this, but this little intro is talking about Jesus. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God. Oh, big statement. He was with God in the beginning. Through him, all things were made. Do you know Jesus made everything? Without him, nothing was made that has been made. In him was life. Listen to that. In him was life itself. And that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. So here we are in a busted, broken reality, and the light is breaking through. The light will overcome the darkness. The darkness will never overcome the light. We're living in an upside down, topsy-turvy reality where nothing seems quite like it should be. One of the times in my life where nothing seemed quite like it should have been was when I was in Portland. Jane and I took a trip to Portland. This was like right when Instagram was starting out. I saw that there was really good coffee there, and the Instagram game was just like out of this world. So I was like, I got to go there. So we went there. We flew in at night, and we showed up, and we got to the place we were staying, and it was dark. You couldn't see anything. And then the sunrise, and we went down and walked down to the river, and we were in the Columbia River Gorge, and there was these bluffs on both sides of the river. It looked like we were at Hogwarts. It was insane. I've never been any place like this. So I already felt like the world was just different here. And then we went to Portland. We went to downtown Portland, and then I saw a man in a cow suit riding a dirt bike down the main street in downtown Portland, and I thought, this isn't real. I'm dreaming. Keep Portland weird. All that stuff. They're doing a great job at it. They're doing a really good job of keeping Portland weird. Next thing, go to a coffee shop. Every coffee shop I went to in Portland, I walked up because I was really excited about this. And I said, hey, you make me your favorite drink to make right now. Every single place made me a chai latte. I hate chai lattes so much. And then we went to this other coffee shop. It was like a hole in the wall. And the lady was she was something else. And she believed that Jane and I were famous ice skaters that she saw on TV. And we are not surprised. We're not those famous ice skaters, but she really thought we were. And then she made me a chai latte. Last thing, we're going shopping. It's like a downtown shopping center's got an H&M. I thought the only place I can buy H&M stuff is like New York City and Portland. There's one in Omaha. So here I am shopping. I leave the store. We leave the mall. I walk out into the street. I go, you know what? I actually do want those sweatpants. We turn around. Doors are locked. I turn around. Everybody's gone. In the city, everybody's gone besides one guy. And he's walking by and he goes like this. Don't you know everything closes at 6 p.m. on a Sunday in Portland? I had no idea how to get back to where we needed to be, and I had to use public transportation. I've never used public transportation in my life. I'm on this tram. I get on there. I'm talking to the guy in the front. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know how to pay. He goes, you pay in the back. I go, why on earth would you pay in the back? So I go to the back. We're going 2 or 3 blocks at this point. Guy with a bike gets on. I go, hey, do you know how to get to this place? He goes, oh, you're on the wrong train, buddy. I go, what do I do? He goes, just get off. So I stowed away on a train for 3 city blocks. Turns out we were on the street we needed to be, and we got to the place we were staying. So it was just fine. The world felt upside down. Maybe there's things in your life where things just feel like a different reality. Like some people's food combinations, like ranch on spaghetti. Maybe just platypuses, just in general, platypuses being on this planet. Maybe it's like big trucks with little tires, What are you doing? It doesn't seem right. Or maybe just Crocs. Just the Crocs having their moment right now. And what's happening? What's with the Yeezy foam runner? What is it? It doesn't seem right. I heard this famous quote. I can say it's famous because I don't remember where I heard it. So it's very famous. But it was on a documentary or something I was listening to. But the point was that they were making is that we as a human race are spending billions and billions and billions as a species, billions of dollars to try to find paradise out there in the universe somewhere, out in the stars, out in the planets, somewhere like that. But every evidence we have is that the universe is unstable, volatile, and very violent, like exploding in gases and stars all the time, okay? In terms of our reality, we're living on paradise. In terms of the universe and its violence, Earth is paradise. But paradise has fallen. It's broken. It must have started good. It's beautiful. In the beginning, God made everything wonderful. And then human beings were given the ability to choose God or not, and they chose not. And in that, the virus of sin spread throughout the human race. It spread throughout the earth. And all of a sudden, things were breaking down. Things were busted. Things went dark. People started to be hurt. There's like these moments in life, and you probably have them, where you think, why does it have to be this way? Why do people have to die? Why do people have to get sick? Why do some people get dealt a hand of cards where they never have to worry about anything in life ever, and some people get dealt the hand where every single day is a struggle? It doesn't seem fair. What is happening? Where is God in all of this? You're in need of some good news. I'm in need of some good news. There has got to be someone. There has got to be a higher power. There has got to be a hero, a savior that would bring us good news.
There's this beautiful poem. It's in the book of Isaiah.
The city of Jerusalem has just been destroyed by Babylon, a great kingdom in the north. And all of these Jewish people, they've been sent away into exile, but a few remained in the city. And they're left wondering, what just happened? Has our God abandoned us?
Right, because Jerusalem was supposed to be the city where God would reign over the world to bring peace and blessing to everyone.
Now, Isaiah had been saying that Jerusalem's destruction was a mess of Israel's own making. They had turned away from their God, become corrupt, and so their city and their temple were destroyed.
Yeah, everything seems lost.
But the poem goes on. There's a watchman on the city walls, and far out on the hills we see a messenger, and he's running towards the city. He's running and he's shouting, "Good news!" And Isaiah says, "How beautiful on the mountains are the feet of those who bring good news."
Beautiful feet?
Yes, the feet are beautiful because they're carrying a beautiful message.
What's the message?
That despite Jerusalem's destruction, Israel's God still reigns as king, and that God himself is going to one day return to this city, take up his throne, and bring peace.
And the watchmen sing for joy because of the good news that their God still reigns.
Now in the New Testament, we find this same phrase, the good news. It's the Greek word euangelion, and it's also sometimes translated with the word gospel.
Yeah, so when Christians say, "Do you believe the gospel?" they mean, do you believe the news?
But not just any news. In the Bible, this phrase is always about the announcement of the reign of a new king. And in the New Testament, the Gospels use this phrase to summarize all of Jesus' teachings. They say that he went about proclaiming the good news of God's kingdom.
So Jesus saw himself as the messenger, bringing the news that God reigns.
Yes, but the way that he described God's reign, it surprised everybody. I mean, think, a powerful, successful kingdom. It needs to be strong, able to impose its will, able to defeat its enemies. But Jesus said the greatest person in God's kingdom was the weakest, the one who loves and who serves the poor. And he said that you live under God's reign when you respond to evil by loving your enemies and forgiving them and seeking peace. This is an upside-down kingdom.
Now, Jesus also said that this kingdom was arriving with him.
Yeah, so for example, there's this really interesting story where there's a high-ranking Roman officer, and he comes to Jesus begging him to heal his servant. And he even calls Jesus his Lord, acknowledging that Jesus is his authority. Jesus praises this man for recognizing what no one else yet had, that not only was Jesus announcing God's kingdom, he was the king.
And so the word gets out that this Jewish man from Galilee is talking and acting like he's the king of Israel. He's appointing 12 disciples, which are an image of Israel's 12 tribes. He's healing people, forgiving people their sins.
And all of this so threatened Israel's leaders that they finally decide to have him killed. And Jesus let them.
Yeah, which is a weird thing to do if you're trying to become king.
That's right. But for Jesus, this is what had to happen. Jesus saw the sin and the devastation of his people Israel as just one small part of the entire human condition. How all humanity has rebelled against God, resulting in the tragedy and devastation of our whole world. And so how is God going to bring his reign over such a world? Jesus believed it would be through an act of sacrificial love for his enemies. This is why in the Gospels, Jesus' crucifixion is depicted as his enthronement as the King of the Jews.
Yeah, he receives a crown. He also receives a robe.
He's exalted up, not onto a throne, but onto the cross.
How beautiful are the feet that bring good news.
And the good news now is that Jesus has defeated death and that he reigns as king, that he's dealt with our sin and corruption himself, and that he's conquered it with his life and with his love.
And then Jesus sends his followers to go out and keep announcing this good news of the upside-down kingdom.
And to invite everyone to give their allegiance to him, the king who defeated death with his love.
John chapter 1, verse 4. In him, talking about Jesus, was life. And that life was the light of all mankind. Every woman, every man, every child, every adult. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. The world might seem like a busted up place. Maybe your life feels like a busted up place. But there's a light. There is hope. And heaven is breaking through. God reaching out to us through Jesus. And here's the good news. This is probably the most famous verse of all time. This is John chapter 3, verse 16. That God so loved the world, the paradise he built, that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever would believe in him would not perish, but would have everlasting life. In our fallen, broken paradise, in the upside down world, here comes heaven breaking through, and Jesus preaching a new message, a new hope, a new love, to love your neighbor as yourself, to lose your life and then you'll gain it, to love your enemy. All these unexpected things that unlock for us a reintroduction into the reality that is the beautiful creation that God meant it to be. And maybe you in your life, you're a lot like that centurion in the video, this soldier who his society, his culture told him, no one else is really above you. You are in charge of all of it. You're better than everything. It's all up to you. You can handle all of it. The weight of the world was placed on his shoulders. But when things got tough, he knew he needed help. And he came to Jesus and he knelt at his feet and said, I need a hero. I need a savior because this world is messed up and it's broken. And I could see that there should be good, but I don't know where it should come from. It's gotta be you. And maybe you're in the same spot. Maybe you're in the same place as that soldier. You feel like your culture, your society has told you it's all up to you. You are enough to make you happy. It's all within you and that's all you'll ever need. But when it breaks down and it gets hard, you know that's not true. Why? Because I know that's true. When it's gotten hard and I've broken down, I know I need help. I know there's got to be someone out there that can bring me good news. I know I need a hero. And maybe you do too. There's a man who walked this earth, fully God, fully man, and his name was Jesus. And he preached a message that was new and setting people free and healing people. And he allowed the human brokenness to put him on a cross. But in that, it was the ultimate table turner upset. Because in that moment, he took on all the brokenness, paid for it, and with his resurrection showed that in this upside down world, heaven had officially broken through. The gate has been open to heaven, to paradise evermore. And it's through Jesus, and only through Jesus. Now we're going to pick up the rest of this year in Mark chapter 14, where we are as a church. And we're going to look at Jesus heading towards the cross and what it means for us and what it meant for him and what it means for followers of Jesus all around the world. We're going to talk about Jesus all the time at Element because he's our hero. He's our king. And he's our good news. Thanks for being here. I'm so excited for what God's going to do in Broken Bow and what he's already doing with you and your friends there now. Have a good night.